Welcome back to another edition of Lifting with the Stars. Our guest tonight is Allison. Allison has lost over 115 pounds since training with us, and most importantly, she's taking control of her health and her life. Allison, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, what motivated you to get started training?
I saw my peers kind of running away from me, literally and figuratively, and I just felt like I couldn't keep up anymore, and I didn't want to miss out on life, and I wanted to have a long and happy life, and I just didn't feel like that was, happening, or at least I wasn't taking full advantage of it, and I felt like my health was holding me back.
What do you mean? You figuratively felt them running away from you, or you literally felt them running away from you?
Sometimes you'd see, when I meant literally, people running marathons, or going out and, going for hikes, or going on backpacking, or seeing the world, or something like that. And, I just felt like I couldn't keep up. And I couldn't even say, oh, this is something that I want to do, because it was just so out of the realm of possibility. I wouldn't even, I feel like today, I don't think I could run a marathon. I couldn't go outside and run a marathon right now, but I feel like I could start a training program and build up to that. And I feel like it would be something that would be possible. But I don't think that before it was even something I could consider. I don't want to run a marathon.
No, but I was gonna say that makes total sense, and I agree with you 100%. But also, I can remember when we first started versus now, and I think it was only, what holiday was it? But when I was leaving the parking lot over here, and I saw you running down the street, and that was your thing, is you were running to the gym and running back. Mm-hmm. And I remember I talked to you about it. I remember reflecting.
It's dark now, though.
Well, yeah, now, right? But I remember thinking about it. I'm like, there's no way you could have done that before.
No.
But it's all those muscles are getting so strong that you could do those things. Mm-hmm. So what I was taking when you just said that, and this is something that I share with people all the time, is it's like you get to become a more active participant in life because your health allows you to do so.
Yeah.
So when we first started, what were your initial goals?
Well, I had initially just wanted to get back into the swing of things. I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but I've had other parts in my life where I have had big weight loss and where I've gotten really into fitness. But the last time I had done that, which was a few years ago, I had been so gung-ho about it and decided to change up everything and moved here from Virginia, went back to school, got my master's degree, all these great things. But sadly I gained the weight back and I stopped working out because I didn't have that support that I had before. And then that was when I kind of reached out to you, because I knew that in the past, I had seen success, but I also hadn't seen success on my own. And I recognized that I needed help.
You actually, it's funny because I was just discussing this with someone. We're going to bounce around a little bit.
Oh, that's fine.
I was just discussing this with someone earlier tonight. It is so important to have a support system, because without a support system, it's like I never see people succeed without a support system. And you actually have 2 support systems now. So very cool. When Allison first started, she didn't know anybody here, but you have the support system of me, of Fit House. You also have the support system of everyone you're trained with. But
Amy.
Allison developed an extra support system because she very much connected with another girl who trains here. And I mean, the 2 of you, I just see you push each other. You both bring out the best in each other. And it's really cool because you are both progressing way more than you would just on your own.
Oh yeah. We're both really competitive, but we're not cutthroat. So I want her to do her best, but I want to keep up with her. So I don't want to see her, I don't want to beat her.
Yeah.
I just want to match her.
I get that 100. You know what? There's this, you're familiar with UFC? Mm-hmm. There's this former UFC fighter who has a fighting school in Pennsylvania. And I read this, I don't know if it was in a business book I read this, but he's talking about he has a system. Everyone who trains with him for fighting, they have to have 3 partners, and it's called the plus minus equal system. Okay. So they have to have one partner who is their plus. So someone that they train with who's better than them. And that person helps bring them up. They learn from that person. They have to have one partner who's a minus, somebody who's not as good as them, so they bring that person up, because in that too, they also become a better version of themselves and excel. And then they have to have an equal, and that's just what you described. So the equal is somebody right around your level who you can really push each other 100% to be your best, and you both progress from doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it also helps us keep accountable. So like, I know that like, I'm not just letting myself down when I go to the gym. Like, I can let myself down, it happens. But I let her down, and then like that, I don't know, that's just strange. Like that's
It's not strange at all. I gotta tell you something. This used to drive me crazy. My contention used to be the biggest value that we offer is what to do to accomplish the goals you want. Because so many people, we'll talk about that in a second, the things that you've done in the past. People try so many different things, but they're not doing the right thing to actually give them the results of what they're looking for. So I always contended that that was the best thing that we offered. But so many people have said to me that the biggest thing that they get is the accountability. They love having the structure, they love having the accountability and the supportive environment. And that's something that I've actually started learning over the last couple years, is that actually seems to trump everything. Is if you're accountable, you're in an environment that's gonna hold you accountable, and you have a great support system, you're gonna be more inclined to do and continue doing with what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then I am gonna sneak in though. I also believe that if you're putting that effort in and you're not getting out of it what you're putting in, then eventually you're going to lose your motivation and you'll drop out of that support system. So you do have to be doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, what have you done in the past? In, let's say, exercise first. What kind of things have you tried?
I have tried a lot. I think I started with sports in high school. I've struggled with my weight my whole life, but started with sports in middle school, high school. Started running, joined the gym. Wasn't always the best with accountability. The season I'd be really good, and then the summer I wouldn't be good, and whatever. I really started working out with group fitness in my 20s. Mm-hmm. But then again, it would be I would do this great weight loss, get in great shape, feel great, and then start living my life again and kind of drop that off. I think I moved again as well too. So didn't have that support system and that gym buddy anymore, and moved to a different city. And then probably 10 years went by and I didn't work out during that time. And it, a lot of things happened in my life. My mom passed away. I was taking care of my dad. Not that he needed taken care of, but work, life, everything. And it got to the work, a point where I realized I needed a change. And that was when I started working with a personal trainer through a program through the hospital. Mm-hmm. It was a medical weight loss program, but without surgery. And so they hooked me up with a trainer, and then I hooked up with another trainer on my own, and I worked out with them for 3 years, mm-hmm. I think, and lost 100 pounds.
That's awesome.
The first time, and then then we were right back to the beginning. But you don't give up. It's your life. It's not something that's short term. It's something, it's got to be,
I didn't ask you this. We discussed beforehand, what questions we were going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask you this, so I hope I don't put you on the spot right now.
That's okay.
But so you lost 100 pounds before.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you put that weight back on?
I think it's a multitude of things. I think that it's, and I think that it takes a village to...
Remember you said that?
Yeah. To do everything. I think that, I think stress is a big part. Mm-hmm. I think mental health is a big part. There were a lot of things that I hadn't identified, anxiety and depression and that sort of thing that I needed to work through. Trauma from, weight loss trauma and all the things that you go through your whole life with that. And I think that nutrition, I moved, and I had an injury as well. So it was just all these things that kind of went on top of each other. And I also think, between me and my doctor, I feel like there's maybe some imbalance or something like that going on. And I decided that maybe this is beyond my means or my ability to do. You know, some people it seems like it's so easy for them, and other people it doesn't matter how hard they work, how many things they try, how much money they spend every month. It's just not.
See, this is why I go back to that contention of you got to be doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. There's only one way. If you want to lose weight, lose fat, and you want to keep it off, you need to build a metabolism. There is only one way to build your metabolism, and that is building muscle, but lifting weights in a certain way. Like, there's so many different programs out there, and so many different, like you said, you've tried like everything.
Yeah.
Just the act of lifting a weight doesn't mean that you're building muscle and building your metabolism. There's so many different metrics that need to be on point. And that's why I really contend you have to be doing the right thing. But I like what you said. You said it takes a village, right? Mm-hmm. So it's multifaceted. You have to be doing the right thing. You have to be lifting weights in a certain way to build muscle, to build your metabolism. You have to be doing nutrition in a certain way where your body can lose fat and not be losing a mix of fat and muscle where you're slowing your metabolism down. Like we talked about that before. What were some of the nutrition things you've been through before?
All of them. You know, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, South Beach Diet, the Dr. Atkins, the non-surgical, that was a liquid diet for 6 months.
Yeah.
That was not fun. But again, like that was through the doctors. So it's like the hard thing is it's like these things, like processing things, like now looking back and kind of going through therapy and doing all this stuff, it's like there's so many people that will tell, there's so many ways, I don't even know how to articulate it.
Can I try it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I've noticed, and this is why I'm sure you're familiar when I get on some rants about different things.
Yeah, like superfoods.
Yes, like superfoods is one rant. I feel like, okay, when you work with me, right, I feel like you are extending me your trust that what I'm going to give you is going to be the healthiest and best thing for your body that's going to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. There's so many different things out there that people extend their trust to, and physiologically, it's just not how your body works. It will never give you the result that you're looking for, like a liquid diet. Okay, you get the idea. But I think what you're trying to articulate is that it really sucks when you extend your trust to somebody and then your effort, and you put your effort into something, and you find out down the road that what you put your effort into was not the answer, and then you're left to blame. Most people blame themselves.
Yeah.
They don't say, hey, the authority that I extended my trust to let me down and led me down the wrong path. No, instead they say, there's something wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the times where I see you talk about like the trauma of weight loss. Mm-hmm. I meet people and it's like, they think that the failure is themselves. Yeah. They think there's something wrong with their body. There's something wrong with them. They're not capable. They can't do it. But there's nothing wrong with them. It's they haven't been applying that beautiful effort that they do have. They haven't been applying it to the right thing. And when they start applying it to the right thing, all of a sudden they start seeing results. Then they start getting belief in themselves. And then they're able to, like, I think you're at a really cool point right now. You told me, maybe it was like 3 weeks ago, you said you were at the lowest weight that you've been at in your adult life. And like now you're stepping into the unknown because you're taking it further.
Yeah, and it's exciting. And you know, I think that one of the things that really kind of is strange to me is that like I'm excited about moving forward. Like I'm not at this point where I'm so exhausted that I can't keep going. You know, I can still go out and see my friends, and I can still go out and have like a nice night and not be so worried about everything and looking up food beforehand and, you know, like all of that stuff. Like I'm just trying to be mindful and, you know, put the effort in the gym and work harder, work smarter, not harder.
I'm just smiling as you're saying this because I love seeing you like this. When we first started, it was like you were you seemed nervous, mm-hmm. and you also just kind of seemed like this. Mm-hmm. And over the last year, you have just come like to mm-hmm. life. And I remember when we met, I told you, I feel like there's this super bubbly, energetic, like personality within you that you're not seeing right now when you look in the mirror. And if we could like align those things where you could actually see the way you feel like the person on the inside, like that would be the ultimate win for you. And it's so cool seeing that happen.
Well, thank you.
So what type of results have you seen so far since we started working together?
I've got so much more energy now. Like I'm, you know, I have a job where I travel a lot, and so like even like flying and being at the airport and running around and like all that stuff, like it's not like a big deal anymore. Like I'm not tired to go for a walk, or you know, sometimes I'll just do that for fun. I like to go out for a run when the weather's nice, not when the weather's not nice. But I have my walking pad though in the house for when it's not. I, you know, just feel like I'm so much more active and so much more like ready to meet new people and do new things. Oh, I'm in a band now. I joined my band.
I was gonna say.
It's 5 to 1. You should come hang out and see us sometime. But yeah, I'm gonna, you know, I never would have done that before. I never would have been able to stand up there for 3 hours and dance around and sing and not run out of breath. Like I remember going to karaoke one time and trying to sing a Taylor Swift song, and I was out of breath. I couldn't do it. And I was like, how does she do this?
But is it, I still remember back to our initial conversation, and that was one of the things you said is, I want to be a more active participant in life.
Yeah.
It's so cool hearing that from you. It sounds like this has affected your life in like positive in so many different regards.
Absolutely.
How has it affected your relationship with your friends or your family?
I think that, you know, that one's a touchy one sometimes, and I put this in here.
I know, but you are the first person to ever, I've said this to people so many times, you were the first person to actually say it to me. It was so cool to hear you say that.
Yeah, well, probably because I've been on quite a yo-yo for my life, but you know, some people are going to be the most supportive people ever, and you're going to be surprised at sometimes who they are, and who they aren't, and other people can't handle it. I don't know why, and they might ghost you, but other people will come in your life and you'll really know like who's there for you and who's not.
So you articulated that to me, and it took me aback because I feel like I'm sharing that with people. I was actually just sharing this with Amy the other day.
Okay.
This is what I've seen in my experience. When someone starts a weight loss journey, no matter what stage they're at, they always have the utmost support of like friends and family. As they continue along that journey, whenever they seem to surpass somebody, and it's just the ugly truth.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, I'm just making something up. Let's say somebody weighs 20 pounds more than their friend. So their friend's so supportive. But then once they lose that 20 pounds and they lose 25 pounds and they're like going like at a less weight than their friend, or they have more energy, they're feeling healthier, just whatever it is, all of a sudden that person seems to withdraw their support. I don't know the exact answer why either. It could be because maybe they feel pressured that they need to do something.
Maybe you change, maybe they change, I don't know, but.
You know what, that's another one I hear a lot of times though too.
Yeah.
I hear like people, they don't engage in some of the same activities that they did previously, and as they change, they have new values and they have new activities and new things they like to do, and their drinking buddy might not be their walking buddy.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like you said, I like to go walk for fun now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you might be searching out some more walking buddies versus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they said in Girl Scouts, make new friends, but keep the old.
One is silver, the other's gold.
Yeah.
So how has it affected your, but also I do want to say that it's awesome that you said like you'd be surprised at some of the people who are supportive. Mm-hmm. One thing I really love about the environment here, but also I just love about people who put health at their most priority just in general always seem to be really, really supportive people. I think people have like a certain like, the gym has a stigma in some way. Like people are like, oh, everybody's gonna be like in like super great shape and walking around like hotsy-totsy and like put you down.
Yeah.
And instead, it's everybody is the most, especially here, supportive, uplifting people who want to see you do better as well.
Yeah.
And it's very cool because those are the people who will stick with you every step of the way and keep giving you that support.
Yeah. Well, and also too, everybody's timed, so like you know everybody when you go in. Like,
oh yeah.
You know, so it just seems like it's more like a family. A little bit, like supportive. So.
I really, I do feel that way. It's, one thing I learned about myself recently is I need to have a really good support system to function at my best. I try to think about it, like, who is really my support system? That's like my wife, right? My brother, my in-laws. My in-laws are a very, very great support system. My parents. And outside of that, I'm like, I don't know, like if I really have, but I do.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty good support system.
Oh, but you know what I was gonna say? I was gonna add to that. Every single person here, because and I mean that, I'm not trying to say it in like a cutesy way. It's everyone here is working towards a similar goal, and I have the pleasure of working with some of the most uplifting, motivational, just like fun people. And it was really cool hearing that from you as well, because I feel that way as well. It's like everybody, like you said, it takes a village. Everybody brings everybody up to be the best version of themselves. And I feel that that also brings me up to be the best version of myself. All right, now that we're done with our tearjerker section, how has this changed your relationship with yourself?
I think I'm a little bit more patient with myself, especially this go around. Like, I mean, I've still pushed myself, but I also know that, like, I'm human, and that it's more important that I keep continuing and going on than it is. I mean, I would have like beat myself up if, you know, I had like a work thing, or if I had this or that. And while I try to do everything I can, if I have to make something up, I'm not gonna like beat myself up about it either.
So what helped you shift that, where you took some pressure off yourself?
Therapy.
Yeah,
Therapy for sure. Like, I just, you know, I have a very all or nothing mentality.
Oh, me too. I get it.
So the terms you learn in therapy, and you know, it's like, oh, I'm either gonna work out 7 days a week, you know, 2 hours a day, obsessively, you know, counting my calories, doing everything, not go out for months, and then just, you know, spiral because I miss a day, and then I miss a week, and then I miss a month, and then, you know, and that's not healthy.
Was there like a thought that you could share? Here's what I mean by that. This is something I just started doing a couple months ago, and it has improved my life dramatically. I try to treat everyone I come in contact with like my daughter. Okay, my daughter's 20 months old, but what I mean by that is I have infinite patience with my daughter. She never gets me like frazzled, she never gets me anxious, she never gets me mad, she never gets me angry. Like, I give her more grace than anybody. And I've tried to extend that to other people as well. And I found it has improved my relationships with others dramatically, but it also improved my relationship with myself the most, because I said, why do you extend this grace to everybody, but you can't give yourself that same grace? Because I have that same all or nothing mentality. So I started telling myself, why don't you treat yourself with some of the same kindness and the same grace that you treat your daughter? It's improved my relationship with myself immensely. So that's what I was gonna ask you, was there like a certain thought or something that you picked up on that has helped you, or has it just been like a natural culmination of all of the self-work that you've been doing?
I think it's just a combination of everything, like everything in balance, you know, like everything in moderation, including moderation.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, it's just kind of having a balance and just trying to get into a routine and a schedule, but also be open to just life.
Yeah,
you know?
Awesome. What are your future goals moving forward?
So, this is one that's so weird to me, because like I just hit my like goal, like what I was thinking. My original goal was I wanted to lose what I had lost before, and then my next goal was to get down to my lowest weight as an adult, and I'm there. So now I mean, I've got some numbers in my head, but it's not about the scale. I mean, that's obviously, it's something that's there, but try not to like obsess about that. But I want to be in the healthy range. I want to work with my doctor and you and my therapist and everything to kind of get to a point where this is a healthy lifestyle that I'm living. So I'm not going to say, okay, as I think that in the past, there was always these time things. So it's like, okay, I have 6 months to do this. And, we have, we're signed up from this time to this time. So I have to do it in this time to this time. And I'm just going to go balls to the wall until I get to, that deadline. And then afterwards it'll be done and everything will be perfect.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's not realistic. So I think that this time, my goal is to make this, figure out how to make this something that I'll continue the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I also want to do a pull-up. So that's
I love that. I love that goal. And
I can hang for 30 seconds now.
But you can.
I can.
That was like
It's
Allison.
2 in a row.
All right. Allison was floored because we hit a point now where, as part of her workouts, I have her hanging from a chin-up bar. And when I asked you to do it, I still remember the look on your face. And you did it, and what we hit, like 10, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
So that was the level that she's at right now. She got stronger on certain exercises to get up to that level, but now you're able to do that, and now you're up to 30 seconds. And then there's a certain amount of time when you get up to, we'll be able to take it to the next level. But that's how we've done everything since you've started, is we identified, like, we don't do like one size fits all group programs where you come in and everybody's just doing the same thing. We got to figure out what your starting level is. Once we figured out your starting level, we built you up from there. And then it's like, as you progress and you hit a certain level, then we progress with your program, we progress with what you're doing. Because doesn't it just make sense, common sense, where it's like where you get started, 3 months later, you can't be doing the same thing. You're not going to keep seeing results if you're doing the same thing. So as your body progresses, you need to progress as well.
Yeah. I'm like a mad scientist with my clipboard. Like,
I love it. But isn't that motivating?
It is.
Like Allison has all of her workouts for the program we're doing. Like our programs typically last a month at a time. She has all her workouts. She comes in, we track everything that we do, and that's how we track our improvements in here. There's more than one metric. Like you mentioned the scale, not having the scale be the end all be all. The scale is just one metric. So you're tracking your weights in here and seeing your strength levels increase. There's another metric, because as you get stronger doing the type of training that we do and the style that we do it, you're building muscle, you're building a metabolism. But look at how they all feed into one another. So we have the metric of you're building muscle, you're building metabolism, right? As a byproduct of that, you have more energy and you're doing more stuff in life and more activities. As a byproduct of both of those, your scale's going down. It's like they all feed into each other. There's not a world that exists where you hit the healthy goal that you're talking about where the scale also doesn't go down. And there's also not a world that exists where you hit that goal but you haven't built muscle and built your metabolism. It's like they all feed into each other, but you don't have to become obsessed over. But I think that's the trap people fall into, is they get so obsessed over the scale, and then they go extend their trust to something that makes it look like the scale is going down in the short term. Because I'm sure every single thing that you listed with the liquid diet, with Jenny, like everything that you told me about, the scale always went down in the short term, and then there was always a rebound. And there is a physiological reason of why that happens, just as there's a reason right now of why you are progressing so much, why you're seeing all those beautiful results, and why, as long as you stick with it, they're going to stick. Like it's going to be a lifestyle change that actually sticks. Do you have any advice for people on the fence?
I would say start as soon as you can. Like it just, any day that you wait is just another day that you aren't living life fullest. So, it's a lot of anxiety and it's really scary to start. And yeah, the first day stinks, but but to be honest, it's not that bad. And he's never gonna make you do something that you can't do. And it's shocking, actually. Like you'll be like, oh, this wasn't that bad. And then you go home and like the next day you're like, oh my God, I'm so sore.
Do you remember what I told you on your first day?
No.
I told you, and tell me if I held to my, because you seemed nervous when we first got started.
Yeah.
I told you, I want to underwhelm you. I want your effort to be maybe like a 7 out of 10. I want to see your body move. I want to see like what really needs work. And I want you to leave here feeling like you made a really good decision and you feel optimistic about the future. And also, I told you, I do not want to crush you. If you come in and I crush you and you can't walk for a week, what are we supposed to do when I see you 2 days later? So we need to respect your body and slowly build over time. But if when we first started, if I told you that you'd be doing that hang that we were just talking about, would you believe me? No, but it's very, isn't it?
I couldn't do that in high school.
No,
The flex arm hang.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'll pass.
Well, it's fantastic. I have to tell you, I appreciate you very much. I am very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm very much looking forward to all of your future successes.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope you found value in tonight's podcast.
Thanks for joining.